Good morning, gang. Happy Wednesday morning. Well, the shot heard round the world that we were all waiting for was fired yesterday. For all those of you who have no election or civil war on your SHTF bingo card, your chances of winning that pot got a whole lot bigger as of last night. Yesterday, the Colorado Supreme Court, the liberal Colorado Supreme Court, 7 justices, all Democrats, put out a ruling that says Donald Trump cannot appear on the 2024 ballot in Colorado. Interesting, huh? Okay. 4-3 was the vote. 4 justices put their necks out on the line, said, nope, he can't be on the ballot. Once there was a majority, the other 3 said, I'm not risking getting disbarred. I'll just abstain. So that was how the vote came out. 4-3, 4 votes for removing him. 3 said, I ain't getting involved. Okay. 3 of them that were, I won't say smart, but weren't stupid. We get into a problem with something like this. And as usual, the tyrannical left can't think past the tip of their nose. Okay. If you guys remember back in the early 2010s, remember who Harry Reid is? Harry Reid was a Democrat senator from Nevada, and Harry Reid was the Senate Majority Leader. And Barack Obama was trying to push through liberal justices on the Supreme Court and federal judges, et cetera, all down the line. And Harry Reid installed what became known as the nuclear option to appoint justices based on majority rule, the democracy they want, that they keep calling for, saying that we have to save our democracy, right? Okay. They didn't bother to think that, we're setting a precedent. They thought, oh, this will just work for us, and then after we're finished, it'll go back to the way it was. Law doesn't work that way. So what wound up happening? Well, good old Barry got his 2 justices in, and then Donald Trump came about, and surprisingly, Trump got 3 in his 4-year term, and the Democrats were screaming bloody murder, going, you can't do that, you can't do that. So they did everything they could to lie, cheat, and steal. Let's start going back to specifically Brett Kavanaugh's confirmation hearings, right? Remember those? We're going to drag him through the mud. Did they drag Sonia Sotomayor through the mud? No. Did they drag Elena Kagan through the mud? No. Okay. They sure did with the 3 nominees that Trump put up. Why? Because Democrats, by definition, are despicable human beings, okay? They have no morals, no honor, no nothing. So, in all of the, we need to protect our democracy, right? How many times have you heard that come out of Nancy Pelosi's, Chuck Schumer's, Joe Biden's, pick one of them, out of their mouth about protecting our democracy, even though they've been told countless times we're not a democracy. Yesterday's ruling destroys that argument again. Okay, I told you yesterday about 64% of the American public does not want illegals to be able to get a job in the United States. In other words, ratify, e-verify. They don't want to listen to that. So now we're going to take away the right of Coloradoans, or whatever it is, to vote for the candidate of their choice, or so they think. Okay. I'll say this again, I've said it many times. I don't care whose name the RNC puts on the ballot this year. They can put Nikki Haley, they can put Chris Christie, they can put Ron DeSantis, they can put Ramaswamy's. I ain't putting an X there. I will write in Donald Trump's name. It's going to be really interesting come next November when there's a third color on the map. You know, blue for Joe Biden, red for insert losing Republican candidate here. And inevitably, you know how they'll do it on the news media. They'll make it orange for Trump. Okay. And Trump will wind up winning as the first write-in candidate ever to have won the presidency. And that's how it's going to go in Colorado. Now, I'll give you this. Biden won Colorado by 13.5 points in 2020. Who knows how many of the votes were legitimate? Nobody. Okay. But that's what the official numbers came out to be. We all know how accurate official numbers are out of this government is. So, as we move on along, the Democrat Party has now decided to restrict Americans' rights to participate in democracy. They're not allowed to vote for whoever they want. Somebody was saying last night that the Supreme Court also said Trump's not allowed to be a write-in candidate. I want to see where that's in the law somewhere, because it ain't anywhere. Okay, you cannot restrict it. But so the premise of what they're doing is on the 14th Amendment. Okay, and I'll read this to you real quick, just so you know exactly what it says. 14th Amendment says, no person shall be a senator or representative in Congress or elector of president and vice president or hold any office, civil or military, under the United States or under any state who having previously taken an oath as a member of Congress or as an officer of the United States or as a member of any state legislature or as an executive or judicial officer of any state to support the Constitution of the United States Senate or United States shall have engaged in insurrection or rebellion against the same, or given aid or comfort to the enemies thereof. But Congress may vote by 2/3 of each house to remove such disability. So they are getting Trump, in their twisted interpretation of the 14th Amendment, under the shall have engaged in insurrection or rebellion against the same. That's the phrase that they are persecuting Trump with. Okay, not prosecuting, because remember, he hasn't been found guilty of any crimes. There's no evidence of any crimes. He wasn't there, and all the audio tape says he did not incite anything from January 6th, which was by definition, by the true definition, a peaceful protest. You know, there weren't pictures of burning buildings in Washington that day, and NBC news anchors going, it's mostly peaceful protesting. No, it was, please remind me what damage was done and how many people were killed. Oh yeah, the people that got damaged, that did damage was minor, extremely minor. And the only person that was killed by the Democratic Gestapo of one of the protesters, Ashley Babbitt. Okay. So this is the one thing that the DNC, as usual, can't think past the tip of their nose. Shall having engaged in insurrection, rebellion against the same, right? That's what they're going after Trump with. The very next part of the very same sentence says, or giving aid or comfort to the enemies thereof. Excuse me, Mr. Biden, may I present you the southern border? Aid to enemies of the United States. Letting them in, giving them money. I don't know. That sounds like providing aid to enemies, doesn't it? Oh, but Pinball, you're counting all these illegals coming in as enemies. All you need is one. Has one MS-13 member gotten through? Yup. That's all it takes. They're an enemy of the United States. At that point, by their definition, by the exact same definition that the Colorado Supreme Court has given, with actual evidence, Joe Biden should be removed from every ballot in every state. Right? Makes sense to me. Okay. But it's not going to happen. Okay. Because, of course, Trump's on his own. The Republican Party won't help him. And Trump will still win, which is the funny part, which is what pisses off the RNC and Ronna McDaniel and everything like that, is their entire corrupt mass of people is not nearly as effective as one man and his tiny entourage. And you wonder why the people support him. Americans like underdogs. Okay, we don't like to be. It's early. Okay, bent over backwards. Let's put it that way. So this is what's going to happen. Next year, we're going to have the issue, and I'm talking about January now. We're going to have the issue in front of the Supreme Court to return Trump to the Colorado ballot. Like I said before, chances of Trump winning Colorado slim to none. Okay, no big deal. Not like they're going to bother campaigning there or anything like that. I mean, Denver and Colorado Springs have completely destroyed the rest of the good people in the country there with their skinny jeans, soy boy, latte sipping crap. But this is going to really set the world on fire, because the liberals are going to celebrate for the next 2 weeks, going, see, even the Supreme Court of Colorado agrees with us, until the Supreme Court of the United States says no, which of course then they'll go, see, all those people that are on the Supreme Court, they want this fascist dictator. Okay, sorry, look in the mirror. Your fascist dictator is Barack Obama. Okay, that's why, and the puppet president he's got. That's it. If you go look up the definition of fascism and communism, you will see how it absolutely aligns with the DNC public policy. Okay? You won't find any similarities whatsoever with Donald Trump's. Just saying. Okay. But, the sheep can believe whatever they want. That's why they're 30 years old and still live in mom's basement, So once we get past all this, now we're going to go into the summer, and we're going to see all the raising hell, and the violence is going to start. But come November next year, I implore every one of you to be absolutely ready, because no matter what happens in November, the Wednesday after the election, prepare to see all hell break loose. Because if by some miracle, by some massive cheating organization, Joe Biden or whoever the lackey is who's appointed to replace him wins, the questionability of the election will come into play like you've never seen before. You think you've seen 2,000 mules or anything like that. At that point, there will be an insurrection in Washington. Okay. On the other side, if Donald Trump wins, there won't be an insurrection in Washington. Every city in the United States will look like Portland or Seattle or Minneapolis. Buildings will burn, etc., etc. The interesting part of all of this is, with everything that's going on, it's going to be an interesting observation to make, to see if either one of the two candidates makes it to 2024. Yeah. I'm not saying by vote. There's enough lunatics in this country. There's talk all over the internet, even by the mainstream media. Hell, we've had one senator who actually called for it, about assassination attempts on the candidates. That's how far gone this country is, guys. And anybody that thinks that we're going to get it back is completely out of their mind. We aren't going back. The objective at this point is to survive what we are through, come out the other side, and then truly build back better. And the first thing that we need to do is, just like terrorism, we need to eradicate liberalism from the face of the earth. Pinball out.